Ahead on NewsWatch, Donald Trump's troubles on the rise as his feud with the Republicans escalates. But Hillary Clinton is facing some surprising revelations of her own. Plus, a flood of humanity heading to the U.S. CBN News takes you to the border of Panama for an exclusive look at the refugee crisis there. And you've heard don't text and drive, but how about don't exercise while angry? See why it could be just as deadly. And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. The hits keep coming. With only a month to go until Election Day, Hillary Clinton is battling new WikiLeaks, and Donald Trump is battling his own party as he deals with the fallout from his vulgar comments from 11 years ago. Caitlin Burke has more on the chaos that is this election season.
Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is taking aim at leadership within his own party, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, who said Monday he won't campaign with Trump anymore.
I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole with a lot of these people, by the way, including Ryan.
Trump also lashed out on social media, sending out a barrage of tweets about the weak and ineffective top-ranking Republicans who don't support him. He then declared that, quote, the shackles have been taken off, liberating him to fight for America the way he wants to. This after many from his party have withdrawn their support in the wake of the release of the vulgar video from 2005. Even as Trump wages war against his own party, he continues to battle Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton, his campaign this week releasing a new television ad.
Hillary Clinton failed every single time as Secretary of State.
Clinton, meanwhile, dealing with a new WikiLeaks release of over 1,000 emails from her campaign, some of them seeming to show a close relationship with the news media, including a New York Times reporter giving the Clinton camp veto power over statements she'd made before including them in a story. Other emails showed Clinton's team mocking evangelicals and conservative Catholics. Her campaign communications director writing that many powerful conservatives are Catholic because they think it's, quote, the most socially acceptable politically conservative religion. Their rich friends wouldn't understand if they became evangelicals, she added. Clinton's campaign team responded to the latest leaks by saying that they're simply an attempt by Russia to sway the election.
The Russian interference in this election should be of utmost concern to all Americans.
On the campaign trail, Clinton showed up on stage with Al Gore in an attempt to win over some millennial support by talking about his major issue and one that's important to many of them, climate change.
I'm running against a guy who denies science, denies climate change, says it's a hoax created by the Chinese.
Clinton has a lead in the polls and is now looking beyond the White House and trying to help Democrats take back the Senate as well. But Trump's not backing down and is sure to hit Clinton hard as this race enters its final stretch. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
And as you just heard, division is growing deeper in the Republican Party since the exposure of Trump's lewd comments about women. But while many are questioning their support of the presidential candidate, CBN News spoke with one pastor who says Christians should look at policy, not personality.
We're not supporting a personality, but a set of policies. The policies and the platform of the Republican Party this year are probably the most biblically oriented, pro-church kind of platform that we've had.
But Jackson believes the biggest problem is not deciding who to vote for, but actually getting evangelicals to vote.
Will the Christians show up or not? And only half of us are even registered to vote. And then of the half that are registered, only half vote, 25%. We're over-spiritualizing this process. I don't consider Hillary a Christian advocate. I'm not questioning her faith. I'm not considering Donald Trump as a born-again believer who's 100% in the fold. I'm looking at their policies.
With less than a month away till Election Day, Christians have some big decisions they must make. A conservative Christian group has filed a federal lawsuit challenging a new Massachusetts law that would allow transgender people to use the bathroom of their choice. The Alliance Defending Freedom filed a lawsuit on behalf of 4 churches to protect their right to operate according to the belief that God created people male and female at birth. Meanwhile, 34,000 people signed a petition to repeal the law, so now it will be on the state's 2018 ballot for voting. Andrew Beckwith with Keep Massachusetts Safe said, "We remain committed to defending the fundamental rights to privacy and safety, particularly for women and children in our Commonwealth." 9,000 people are being evacuated along the Tar River in Greenville, North Carolina today as the flood threat from Hurricane Matthew continues to unfold. Governor Pat McCrory is urging residents to leave in order to prevent more deaths as the Tar River swells with floodwaters. The storm has claimed at least 34 lives in the U.S., more than half of them being in North Carolina. While some are evacuating, Operation Blessing has been hard at work, helping residents who have lost nearly everything.
I knew by then that the water had risen up to like the 2nd step, I believe at least, and tried to get home every way that I went. I mean, I posted a little funny thing on Facebook, let's see how many detours I have on my way home. And I did try to keep track of detours and lights that were out, and then it was a matter of, it just really doesn't even matter, I'm not gonna get there. For Operation Blessing to be here, you say the word blessing, but that doesn't really touch what it is.
Hurricane Matthew has damaged or destroyed more than 1 million buildings, forced businesses from Florida to North Carolina to close, and put thousands temporarily out of work. Goldman Sachs estimates the storm probably caused about $10 billion in damage overall. New research shows vigorous exercise when you're angry triples your risk of heart attack. That could be an important warning for many people who go to the gym just to blow off some steam. CBN's health reporter Lori Johnson has the details.
Next time you're piping mad, cool off a bit before hitting the gym. A new study shows anger plus heavy exercise can be a deadly combination.
When angry, they shouldn't be involving themselves in severe, extreme physical exertion. You don't get angry, furious, and then chop a stack of wood.
The Canadian study examined more than 12,000 people, mostly men, with an average age of 58. Being very angry doubled their risk of heart attack. Extreme physical exertion also doubled their heart attack risk, but combine the two and it triples.
The authors of the study point out quite correctly that regular physical exercise is extremely important for heart health and for general health. They're not talking about regular physical exercise, they're talking about extreme physical exertion, especially when accompanied by extreme anger.
The research shows the heart attack usually happens within an hour of the angry exercise and most often occurs between 6 at night and midnight.
Those two things together triple the risk for someone to have a heart attack, especially if you're middle-aged, if you have cardiac risk factors. People need to be careful.
So for better heart health, learn to control your anger and stick to regular exercise. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Tim Tebow sparked a social media frenzy Tuesday night after he rushed to the side of a sick fan and prayed. Tebow was signing autographs after his first minor league baseball game when a fan suddenly hit the ground and started convulsing. The former NFL quarterback sprang into action and laid hands on the man. He prayed for his healing and comfort until the paramedics arrived. The violent seizure reportedly stopped moments after Tebow prayed for him. Tebow later told reporters he did it because at the end of the day, only one thing matters.
You remember people are important and being what you can do for people and loving people, and yeah, baseball is awesome. It's something that I'm so excited that I get a chance to pursue. But what's important is lives matter, people matter, and this young man, he mattered.
Coming up, they don't speak the language and they don't know where they are on a map. All they know is that they have a long trek ahead of them in search for a better life. The Supreme Court of Pakistan will hear the final appeal tomorrow of a Christian woman who has been sentenced to death. Asia Bibi was arrested in 2009 after an argument with her Muslim co-workers who refused to drink from the same water bowl with her. They claimed it was contaminated because she's a Christian. When Bibi defended her faith, the workers accused her of insulting the Islamic prophet Muhammad. She was arrested and charged with blasphemy and sentenced to death by a judge. Since then, attorneys and human rights activists have been working to appeal her case. Vandals have desecrated a Jewish cemetery in upstate New York. Swastikas and other anti-Semitic graffiti were spray painted on the gates of a Jewish cemetery in the town of Warwick. The Times-Herald Record of Middletown reports the words Hail and Hitler and other Nazi symbols were written in black paint. The vandalism occurred just before Tuesday night's start of Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year. Police are investigating the incident. A flood of humanity is surging through Latin America, and it's heading for the United States. Our Chuck Holton recently reported on the thousands of Cuban migrants coming through Panama. But as he tells us in this report, those Cubans are just the tip of the iceberg.
Over 1 million refugees and counting have made their way into Europe over the last year and a half, garnering massive media coverage worldwide. But that same reporting may have served to ignite the idea of mass immigration in the minds of the masses all over the globe. Here in Panama, immigrants from over 20 countries are trekking through the vast and dangerous Darien jungle with little more than the clothes on their backs, all with one single-minded purpose: to make it to the United States, even if they have to walk. The tiny village of Metetí is one of the first places these refugees are processed by Panamanian immigration authorities once they emerge from the jungle. The worst of their ordeal may be over, but they still have a long way to go. Samuel Adeniyi is from Nigeria, where he was attending church one Sunday when the Islamic group Boko Haram attacked.
They threw something into the church, and some people ran away, while some they got burnt. As I was running away, I got burnt through all my body. I spent all here, I was like a roasted chicken.
Some friends found him and took him to the coast, where they put him aboard a cargo ship.
So the guy that put me inside the ship told me I have to hide myself, just like in the engine. I didn't know where they were taking me to. It was when I arrived at Colombia, then I didn't know where Colombia was.
There he found a large group of Africans planning to go to the U.S. Unable to speak Spanish, Samuel simply followed the crowd straight into the forbidding Darien Gap between Colombia and Panama. He had no idea what he was in for.
It was very, very tough. It was like a hell in the jungle, because this is the first ever in my life I will experience such. I never had such experience.
On May 9th, Panama's president officially closed its border with Costa Rica. But in reality, that's easier said than done. Commissioner Oriel Ortega has been given the monumental task of stopping the flood of migrants walking into Panama from Colombia.
Approximately 7,000 to 7,500 have come through here so far this year. Over the last 5 years, we've had a massive exodus of migrants crossing our border with the intention of going to North America. The jungle is very dangerous. There are lots of difficult situations like sicknesses, wild animals, even criminals.
These border police are doing their best to stop the flow of migrants, while at the same time caring for those who survived the trek. But they have a lot of ground to cover.
There are approximately 276 kilometers of border between the Pacific and the Caribbean. We are maintaining constant patrols in addition to being in the communities inside the Darien.
Despite the border being closed, hundreds of migrants continue to come through every day.
My name is Syed Imran Gilani, and I'm from Pakistan.
Syed traveled by air from Pakistan to Brazil and later continued north, hoping to make it to the United States. His trip has been equally arduous.
It's terrible. The journey from Brazil until here, it's terrible. In Colombia, most of people get robbed by police. Yes. Yeah. They even said to me, the guy even told me to get naked. Wow. He took my pants off. He checked everywhere. You know, a person who can think and hide money, he checked. He knew exactly where to look.
Do you have a passport?
No, I don't.
So you came with no passport, or did you lose it?
I lost it.
Syed and his friends' troubles are compounded by the fact that they hail from a Muslim country. But they say the violence is what they're running from.
We are afraid to live there. We want a peaceful life. a better future for our family, our kids, you know. We think we're terrorists, but we are not terrorists.
It's rumored that the U.S. Embassy in Panama is vetting refugees from Muslim countries who end up here, but the embassy refused repeated requests for comment. Nicaragua and Costa Rica have also closed their borders to immigrants, meaning that Panama must struggle to deal with the continued flow without simply sending them along to the north. So far, no solution has been found. And in the meantime, these migrants are hoping things will work out somehow.
So tell me what you hope to find in the United States.
Justice, peace and justice for everybody. Everybody is equal.
From Panama, I'm Chuck Holden for CBN News.
Up next, we're heading to the Nun Zone. It is a place in America where people living there claim no religious affiliation. See what one church is doing to reach this area. We've been seeing what it looks like to praise God through a storm, from believers in Haiti worshiping without roofs to Christians in Florida who refused to cancel their church services. Hurricane Matthew did some major damage to the city of Palm Coast, Florida, but members of Dominion Fellowship Church still held services Sunday. CBN News spoke with Pastor Derek Jackson, who says the hurricane helped his church minister in ways they never could have before.
Well, one of the things that we're always able to do and have the opportunity to do as Christians and as a body of Christ is to take advantage of the opportunities that God gives us to connect with people that we would normally not be able to connect with.
And Pastor Jackson told CBN News his church is connecting with those hurting in their community by first showing them the love of Christ and then reaching them with the gospel message. The Pacific Northwest is often called the Nun Zone because most people living there claim no religious affiliation. But one church may have found the secret to reaching the unreachable. Abigail Robinson shows us how their success started when they went back to the Bible.
7 years ago, the future looked pretty bleak for Westminster Community Church, a 92-year-old congregation located in Seattle.
We started to decline at a pretty crazy rate. In fact, I published that our going out of business date was going to be November of 2011 if we didn't do something different.
The more the city grew, the more its people changed.
90% of Seattle are very secularized in their worldview.
Members of Westminster realized they had to roll with these changes in order to reach these people.
So if we're hoping to stay in business here, we need to know how to take seculars to heaven in a way that they would gladly go.
After a number of failed attempts, church leaders decided on a tactic from biblical times.
The church for the first 300 years, it really was a dinner church. And once we started to own that, we thought, well, we've tried everything else and failed miserably. Let's go try this.
Lead pastor Verlin Fosner says it only took about 6 weeks for their community dinners to make a difference.
They were just flooding at us. So they just start grabbing a hold of their friends and say, hey, this is the family dinner table for this neighborhood, and we've all wanted to be neighbors. Well, now we've got a spot to have a family dinner, and this church provides it, and they talk about Jesus, and it's actually kind of interesting, and it's not real religious, but it's very inspiring to us.
Each night of the week, Community Dinners opens their doors somewhere in Seattle and invites people to share a meal together while hearing the good news of God's love.
The one thing that I hear consistently is the peace in the room. People come in and they just go, there's a peace here, I feel peaceful.
Brendan Perko literally helped spread this gospel community by starting the Pike Market location 3 years ago. He sees the dinner table as a very effective tool for discipleship.
A lady that's been with us maybe for about 2 months, 2.5 months, she always says, well, I'm not Christian, I'm actually Buddhist, and I don't know about all this, but I do know when I come here I feel uplifted, I feel encouraged, and I feel loved.
Brendan made one of his first connections with Tulela, a man he invited in off the street.
Some days I'll come in here and I don't even feel like being here, and Brandon would guide me through it, pray with me. That's why I keep coming here, because I know it helps. It helps out. So the Lord, God guides me back to these people. Because if I'm not doing this, I'm out there doing other stuff that's not good. These people changed my life.
In a city not known for faith, community dinner churches could help change that perception. 20 new locations are planned, one for each walking village around Seattle.
We're glad you're here. Okay. And the idea is picking up steam. Community Dinners has garnered national attention from pastors around the country, and it has even proven to be a financially sustainable church model.
$1,600 a month, and you can open up a dinner church that'll take care of 150 people a week. And so so money is really not much of an issue when it's that inexpensive.
And now they offer affordable housing and job assistance as part of their service.
Eat together, include the poor, include the stranger, and remember me, talk about me. And what better discipleship is there than when you're sitting at a table talking about Christ every week?
Verlin and his team have definitely answered Jesus' call to feed my sheep, proving that it only takes a little to reach a great amount of people. Reporting from Seattle, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
It is time for your Wednesday Word, and today's word is Word, as in the Word of God. Consider this: the Word is alive and it is full of power. You unlock that power by reading it, meditating on it, and speaking it over your life. And as you do that, remember this: God is alive and well, and His Word will work for you. He's watching over it to perform every single promise that it holds. Hold fast to that word today. That's going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.